Time to say goodbye and reflect on the college legacy of Angel Reese and Mackenzie Holmes. Time to say see you again soon to some rising bigs in the college game. Locked On Women's Basketball starts now.
Ogunbowale for the win.
You are Locked On Women's Basketball, your daily podcast on women's basketball.
Well, hi there, everyone, and happy Wednesday to you. I'm Howard Megdal, host of Locked On Women's Basketball. I trust you are all enjoying this remarkable week in our space. For those of you who keep showing up for us the way we show up for you, thank you. We are here 6 days a week. You can subscribe on YouTube or wherever you get your podcasts. Of course, as you well know, it is not just me. It is this incredible team over at thenexthoops.com, where we have over 100 reported pieces every single month on the past, present, and future of women's basketball. Make sure you subscribe. $9 a month, $72 a year. Support the work. 8 of us will be in Cleveland this week to take you through everything that happens through the Final Four. It's just what we do every single day. And I want to start by talking about the legacy of 2 players. Angel Reese is who we're going to talk about in segment 1. Segment 2, we're going to get into Mackenzie Holmes of Indiana. And we're also going to talk about Raegan and Lauren Betts from Oregon State, UCLA, respectively, out in segment 3. Take you on through some players who made their mark this year in the NCAA tournament and throughout their careers. And I'm going to start with Angel Reese by giving the floor to Flau'jae Johnson and to Hailey Van Lith, and then to Angel herself. I want you to hear what they have to say, what their perception is. And I want to talk to you about how I see it as somebody who's covered Angel Reese throughout her career as she is about to embark on her WNBA journey. Howard Megdal, the next. Congratulations on the season you guys have had. Flau'jae, if I could hear you on Angel and the type of leadership that she's provided for this team. And Angel, can you just take me through what it meant to see what Flau'jae was able to do in a game like this to, put up 23 points and be a factor on both ends?
Bro, let me tell you something. Everybody can have their opinion on Angel Reese, but y'all don't know her.
Put your hand up.
Like, y'all don't know Angel Reese. I know Angel Reese. I know the real Angel Reese. And the person I see every day is a strong person. Is a caring, loving person, bro. The crown she wears is heavy, bro. She's the type of teammate that's going to make you believe in yourself. The leap that I took from my freshman to sophomore year, Angel gave me that confidence to go be a dog. Playing next to a dog every day. And, just to see how the media ridicule her. Went through our problems, but like, this is my sister right here. And I'm so proud of her. Like, the media, y'all, how they like to twist and call her the villain and all of that, y'all don't know Angel, bro. And I'm just happy that I get to play with her. I get to be around her presence. Her energy is different. Like, she just made me a better player. She made me a better player, and that's what great players do.
I'll say something too. I think, Angel's one of the toughest people I've been around.
Facts.
People speak hate into her life. I've never seen people wish bad things on someone as much as her, and it does not affect her. She comes to practice every day. She lives her life every day. She lives how she wants to live, and she don't let nobody change that. And that's the key to life right there. Y'all do not get to her. Let me say it again. Y'all do not get to Angel Reese. So you might want to give it up. Throw the towel in because you're wasting your energy. So Angel's one of the toughest people I've been around.
I don't really get to stand up for myself. I mean, I have great teammates. I have a great support system. I got my hometown. I got my family that stands up for me. I don't really get to speak out on things just because I just try to ignore, and I just try to stand strong. Like, I've been through so much. I've seen so much. I've been attacked so many times. death threats. I've been sexualized. I've been threatened. I've been so many things, and I've stood strong every single time. And I just try to stand strong for my teammates because I don't want them to see me down and like not be there for them. So I just want to always just know, like, I'm still a human. Like, all this has happened since I won the national championship, and I said the other day I haven't had peace since then. And it sucks, but I still wouldn't change. I wouldn't change anything, and I would still sit here and say, like, I'm unapologetically me. I'm going to always leave that mark and be who I am and stand on that. And hopefully the little girls that look up to me, and hopefully I give them some type of inspiration that, hopefully it's not this hard and all the things that come at you, but keep being who you are. Keep waking up every day. Keep being motivated, staying who you are, staying 10 toes, don't back down, and just be confident.
So those are powerful words, and I hope words that allow everyone to take heed of not how you're perceiving Angel Reese, but how Angel Reese is perceiving you. Angel Reese is a young woman who has overcome a difficult at times upbringing, and she's talked about this. She's somebody who went to Maryland, played for Brenda Fries, and decided she wanted to pursue a different path, which was not itself easy. Went down to LSU, played for Kim Mulkey for 2 seasons, now is on her way to the WNBA, has relentlessly worked on her game. She has a style that's maybe different from yours. It doesn't mean you're right. It doesn't mean there's one way to do this. And I would argue there's no established path for anyone for how to do this. To be a Black woman in the spotlight when the spotlight has never burned brighter on women's basketball, somebody who in this era of social media, and it's painful to hear. I wish you could all be in the room and look into Angel's eyes and hear her talk about what it is to be a 22-year-old woman and be sexualized and given death threats on the internet routinely. And imagine trying to navigate, to manage all that every single day as you are playing a sport at an elite level. And make no mistake, Angel Reese is a really good WNBA prospect. It's almost beside the point, right? But this is somebody who has gotten better and better as a rebounder every single year, is a really good defender. She can defend 4, she can defend 5s. She did a really good job on Lauren Betts, who is 6'7", who could play in the W today. She has held Camila Cardozo to a draw. Camila Cardozo is going to be picked high up in this draft, as Angel Reese should be and likely will be as well. But Angel Reese, a 4 who can do that, who can get into passing lanes and create steals. The one thing missing from her game is a 3-point shot. I have no reason to think she can't add that. She doesn't have to, and she'll still be a very good 4 in this league. She adds it, and she has a chance to be an all-WNBA player by the time she's done. But she's done this in a very, very difficult environment in which to do it. And it's painful to me as a journalist to hear her feel like she's been attacked by the media, but you see things like that LA Times column. And while I would urge, and I had this conversation with lots of people, lots of players, lots of coaches, that the media is not this one entity. There are people who do the work who I have a tremendous amount of respect for, and not. That's probably the nicest way to put it. And to call Angel Reese villain, or the type of names that were said about her, it has to be unacceptable in this world. But there is a gap between the most people in the media, people who are doing this work. We see Angel. We talk to Angel. We talk to her teammates. We understand who Angel Reese is. It's up to us to present that. The drop-ins who occasionally write incendiary columns and then go back to men's sports. they're not us. Everyone on social media and media are two different things, and this is a really important distinction to make. But for Angel Reese, for the LSU players, it all feels the same. It's all directed at them. So I understand why it feels that way too. And we need to respect and appreciate who Angel Reese is, what she's done already, what I believe she is about to do in the hardest league in the world to do it, in the WNBA. So where I left it with Angel, who took responsibility, took the time, talked in the locker room after LSU's loss, was, I look forward to covering you at the next level. And that's where we're at, where we can continue to put a spotlight on what kind of player Angel is, what kind of person Angel is. It's not about some sort of need to be perfect. I don't even know how we're defining perfect. I suspect I know how some people are, which is how you do it. But guess what? Angel Reese doesn't have to do it the way you do it. Angel Reese is doing it her own way. She's unapologetically herself. Angel Reese is doing important things in this world of women's basketball and beyond. I can't wait to see what's next. I hope every last one of us gives her the grace to do it. Back after this with segment 2, talking about Mackenzie Holmes of Indiana. I'm Howard Megdal, and this is Locked On Women's Basketball. Locked On Women's Basketball is brought to you by eBay Motors. Passion, drive, and patience. The formula for winning championships is also what keeps your ride or die alive. eBay Motors has everything you need to maintain your vehicle and level it up to peak performance. Superchargers, roof racks, exhaust kits, LED headlights, and more. Whether you're into speed, power, or style, eBay Motors has you covered. With over 122 million parts for your number one ride or die, you'll always find exactly what you're looking for. And with the eBay Guaranteed Fit, your part is guaranteed to fit your ride every time or your money back. Because with eBay Motors, you're burning rubber, not cash. With all the parts you need and all the prices you want, it's easy to make your car the MVP and bring home huge wins. Keep your ride or die alive at ebaymotors.com. Eligible items only, exclusions apply. eBay Guaranteed Fit only available to U.S. customers. Howard Megdal here, back in segment 2 of Locked On Women's Basketball. And I want to share and give the floor to Mackenzie Holmes, center at Indiana for the last 5 years. Boy, that went by fast somehow. And Terry Morin, her head coach, somebody who builds the right way at Indiana around her players, centering her players emotional well-being and future. So without further ado, let's hear from Terry and from Mackenzie. And I'll be back with you some of my thoughts about her as well.
Yeah, I mean, obviously anyone who knows me knows how much I love being a Hoosier. And I just pray that any high schooler that is looking at colleges, that they pick a school that they feel the same way that I have felt about Indiana. I know the transfer portal is huge right now, but I'm here for 5 years because I loved being a Hoosier and I, loved every second. So I just pray that, every student athlete gets to feel the way I feel about a school because they deserve it. It's an amazing feeling. I wouldn't be this upset if it didn't mean so much to me. So, accomplishments aside, I've met, friends that have turned into family here at IU, people that I'll have with me for the rest of my life. And I think that's the greatest accomplishment of all, is the experiences, the moments, and the people that I've spent 5 years here with. And that's all I really have to say about that. But I'm just very, very thankful that Coach Morin saw something in me, offered me to play here, and that I've gotten the chance to play 5 years under her with some really, really special people.
Terry, congratulations
Thank
on
you.
the season. Howard Megdal at the Nets.
Thanks, yep.
Two things, if I could. The first, you've talked about the continuity, and Chloe said she's coming back. Sid told us months ago that she's coming back. How much, when you look at the fight that the team had tonight, do you think that continuity plays a part in allowing something like that to happen?
Yeah, Howard, I just think they are so close. They are so connected on and off the floor. We are blue collar. We play with a chip. We are okay with people, giving us an underdog role. Nobody's talking about Indiana, and for some teams that have had the level of success, that might really bother them. It doesn't bother us. It's like we're going to show up every day, and we're going to practice together, and we're going to work hard, and we're going to be aggressive, and whatever game that is next on our schedule, we're going to try to fight like crazy to win it, and we're going to do it together. We don't care who scores. We've had balance, great balance. I mean, at one point we were the most efficient team in the country. That's a team that shares the sugar. They love each other. They're connected. They don't care who gets they don't care who scores. They want to win games, and you're always excited when you have the chemistry, and ours has been off out of this world the last 4 or 5 years, and I think it'll continue. But we have had great examples of what good chemistry looks like, and Mackenzie's been a huge part of that.
So Mackenzie Holmes, there's two ways I think we have to look at her legacy. And one of them is, I don't remember a more fundamentally sound center than Mackenzie Holmes. Not in recent memory. Iowa's had some real good ones with Megan Gustafson, Monica Zanano just recently, to name a few. Mackenzie came in, and her freshman year, coming off the bench, shot 63.4% from the field. Was 14th in the country. And she has been at or above that 60% mark for 5 seasons. Never mind that she is near or at the top of these scouting reports. She's just been unstoppable. She is not the biggest center you're going to see. She is not the strongest center you're going to see. She went up against Camila Cardozo, who's headed to the WNBA. She gave it everything she had. We tried to pull her outside, tried to battle her inside, everything she could do. And that's what she brought to every single game. And she talked about the things she wanted to do better, and she constantly worked. She's going to be in the Collegiate All-Star game coming up this week. I think she has a pro future. I think it's hard for a center who doesn't shoot it beyond the three-point line to make it in the WNBA. I do. I think she could go to EuroLeague and have a great career. I wouldn't put a WNBA career past Mackenzie Holmes, because she will work at it and do what is asked of her. She is a remarkable person and talent, and she has helped to define what this Indiana program is. And Terry talked about it, but people like Mackenzie, people like Grace Berger, people like Allie Patberg, they tend to stay around the program. Notice that Allie is back there coaching. Grace is a little busy playing for the Fever, but you see her there all the time. And of course, she's right there in state. Mackenzie Holmes can be whatever she wants to be. She can go on to a career outside of basketball. She would be an incredible coach. She has a limitless future ahead of her, and she has helped to define a program. And again, there's a lot of conversation about women's basketball writ large this week. And part of it was a whole lot of people discovering, oh my goodness, there's a depth of talent in this game like we've never seen before, which stands to reason. Title IX was not a light switch. It's implemented over time. Opportunities increase over time. We're still not at true equality for the reasons we could spend an entire month of shows on. But the more there is, the wider we make that funnel, the more young girls get the opportunity to play hard, and to go and create their own destinies, to go and build. That's what Mackenzie and Grace and Allie and all who follow are doing at Indiana, which has, as we know, a rich men's basketball legacy, but not, until Terry got there, the same level of women's basketball legacy. So it's been a beautiful thing to see that build. I'm excited to see what's ahead for Indiana. Sydney Parrish returning. There's some interesting talent coming in. So I'm sure we'll have Terry on the program before too long. But Mackenzie Holmes is a credit to the college game and just a massive amount of respect for her. And let's not lose sight of her and what she's done right up through that South Carolina game that Indiana very nearly won against, to my mind, the team with less wrong with it than any in the country. And Scott Ruick, the Oregon State head coach, said, the team without holes. That's what South Carolina is. It's going to be fascinating to see. Obviously, a lot more on the Gamecocks coming up over the next few days and into Final Four weekend. But we'll come back to you in segment 3, and I'm going to talk to you about Raegan Beers and Oregon State and about UCLA's Lauren Betts, because they're returning and attention must be paid to what they just did. I'm Howard Megdal. You're watching Locked on Women's Basketball, or possibly listening, or maybe both. Back with you in a sec. Locked on Women's Basketball is brought to you by Amazon Fire TV. So Fire TV is your destination for sports, live games, highlights, in-depth analysis. You may not be aware of this, but Amazon Prime's got a WNBA package. And if you are interested in seeing people like Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese and Camila Cardozo in the pros, you go ahead and get a Fire TV stick. You can get a lot of different ways. I like the stick. Let me tell you why. My parents are not the most tech-savvy people, but they know what you take a stick, you pop it into an HDMI port, you're done. You have Amazon Fire TV. It's that easy. And they've got everything. They've got live sports. They've got baseball. They've got basketball. All the big pro leagues, college conferences, they all have Fire TV channels. Guess who else does? We do. Locked On has a channel on Fire TV as well, where you can get all our incredible programming. So check out the Fire TV channels on any Fire TV or Alexa devices. I mean, again, I like the stick. You can have whatever you want. If you haven't checked out the Fire TV channels, you should. To learn more, visit Amazon.com/LockedOnFireTV. Howard Megdal here, back in segment 3 of Locked On Women's Basketball. And I want you to hear from Lauren Betts first of UCLA, because I kind of love this answer. And I'm going to talk about it in a second.
Yeah. I mean, they were playing super aggressive from the very beginning. Obviously, like, it was just tough inside. Like, I don't know what else to say. I mean, I think in the first half, she did a pretty good job guarding me. But, I think at the end of the day, like, it's up to us to, create inside touches and everything. I don't think that, it was necessarily what they were doing. I think it was just us, and I thought that we could have done a better job.
So that's Lauren Betts sounding like, oh man, what a bad game. What a terrible game Lauren Betts had, right? I mean, that's what you'd think. Now let's break it down. We talked in segment 1 about how good Angel Reese is. Angel Reese head to the pros. Angel Reese knows how to battle bigs effectively. In that LSU UCLA game, that was a draw. Angel's got 16 points in that one and 11 rebounds. Lauren Betts has 14 points and 17 rebounds. She had 5 on the offensive glass alone. Angel Reese, really good passer, had an assist. Lauren Betts had 3. Angel Reese, Lauren Betts, They were dead even in that game. Now, ultimately, down the stretch, and this is my view, and this is Corey Close's view too at UCLA, they didn't get Lauren the ball. Lauren didn't have a touch in that last 2 minutes and 56 seconds. Would it have turned out differently if they had gone to Lauren Betts down the stretch? Hard to say, but I'd sure wonder what it would have happened if they did so. And let's just be clear, this is not on Corey Close. Corey Close. Our seats in Albany were right there. We're right by the UCLA bench. Corey Close every time down the floor is screaming, "Get the ball into Lauren! Inside, watching her scream this and have it not happen. My heart went out to Corey Close. So we'll see what UCLA does. I mean, they have a great new set of players coming in. Transfer portal means who knows who's coming in. More entry passes for the Bruins to Lauren Betts. Just a sophomore? Incredible. And now I want you to hear, speaking of sophomores, from Scott Rueck, head coach at Oregon State, and Raegan Beers about her future. Howard Megdal at the next. Raegan, Talia, congratulations to you both on the season that you had. Raegan, just to talk about what it meant to you to go up against Camila Cardozo, somebody who, is, if she chooses to go, is going to be likely a lottery pick. And what did you learn about your own game today, being able to play her even on the boards, defensively, you name it?
Yeah, we learned a lot today. Obviously, playing the #1 team is a great challenge for everybody, and so South Carolina is a great team. We wish them all the best of luck. Camila especially is a great, phenomenal player, as you said, going to the, if she decides to go to the draft, going to go high in the draft. And so we learned a lot about ourselves as a team. We learned that we can play with anybody. #1 in the country, #2 in the country, whoever it is, we learned that we can play with them. Scott mentioned obviously down 12 going into the fourth quarter. He challenged us, can you do it? And looking around in the eyes of my teammates, we all believed that we could. And obviously we fell short tonight, but we learned that we could play with anybody. And Camila's a phenomenal player. I wish her all the best. She's going to do great things in the WNBA.
Howard Megdal at the next. Scott, congratulations on the season.
Thank you.
Just to jump off what I was talking to Raegan about a little bit, and you spoke about yesterday that part of what you've done here is to make pros. And so when you see somebody do this as a sophomore, I go back to Ruth Hamblin, and you look at what she put up numbers-wise, which is incredible, and you sent her on to the WNBA. Raegan is ahead of where she was as a senior, as a sophomore, in every number you can come up with. How good can she be, and what's kind of the distance left to travel from here to, when you finally send her on her way?
Sky's the limit. And, I would equate Ray a little bit more to Marie Gulich, than Ruth. And it's ironic, Ruth and Ray have very similar personalities. So if you got to know them, you'd see a lot of similarities in their qualities as a human. But the versatility that Ray has, she's very guardish. You saw her run the point tonight, a little bit, and she can do that. I think, I know she can shoot the three. We haven't used that a lot. It hasn't been a go-to thing for her yet, but it's evolving, and it's something that is there. She hit a couple last year, and I don't know if she made one this year or not, but she's capable. And, at that level, you've got to be able to be consistent from the perimeter. And that's why I would say more like Marie. Marie is, dominating the world right now, as a center and can slide to the power forward spot, which Ray can. She's so versatile. Her passing ability allows her to be a perimeter player. And so as that perimeter shot develops to go along with an unguardable inside game, sky's the limit. You put all the character with it, and so it's just this trajectory that it's not going to quit until she decides to hang it up.
So again, we think about Raegan Beers, and this is what struck me specifically. In that game against South Carolina, the reason it was close, the reason it was 4 points with just a couple of minutes to go is pretty simple. Raegan Beers, 16 points, 8 rebounds. Camila Cardozo, 12 points, 9 rebounds against a likely WNBA lottery pick. Raegan Beers is a sophomore, played her to at at worst, you'd say a draw. Had foul trouble, still managed to defend really well. You look at her length, look at her size. There's somebody with a WNBA build now. Raegan Beers has a chance to be one of the best, if not the best, big in the country next year. And the reason we say, if not the best, is what we just talked about, Lauren Betts, UCLA. Oregon State's facing some challenges, obviously, with the dissolution of the Pac-12. It's different from UCLA. UCLA is off to the Big Ten, which now has just 77 teams in the upcoming season. And Oregon State is effectively going to the West Coast Conference. And it's a big difference. And you're not Power 5. And there may be transfers. And even Raegan herself will be interested to see what she does. Personally, Scott Rueck's built something to last. To my view, Scott Rueck has built something at Oregon State where they have always punched above their weight. And I think maybe the worst thing you could do as an opponent is underestimate Scott Rueck and Oregon State. But whatever Raegan Beers does from here, and one more thing, Scott Rueck builds future centers, right? Talked about Ruth Hamblin. We talked about Marie Gulich, as Scott did in his answer. He knows how to take a center and turn her into a pro. So, frankly, I think from a development perspective, that's a really good path for her. I'm not going to tell her what to do, but that is a really good path for her. She'll ultimately make a good decision, hopefully, for herself and is surrounded by people who do so. I don't really care where she goes in this sense. Raegan Beers is somebody we're going to be talking about for a long time to come. And so, again, as we think through this entire show today, as we think through Angel, and we think through Mackenzie, and we think through Lauren and Raegan, the talent level, it extends so far beyond Caitlin Clark and Paige Beckers, who are amazing. We'll have so much more on them, but let's not miss the people who helped get us here, because what an incredible season of women's basketball this has been. I'm here for the finish. Tomorrow, the great Gigi Spears in the host chair. She'll be talking to Chelsea Sherrod of SNY, terrific basketball reporter as well. And we will be with you all weekend long, including right after that final buzzer on Sunday afternoon in Cleveland. So until then, I am Howard Megdal, wishing all of you a wonderful Wednesday.
Ogunbowale for the win.
You are Locked On Women's Basketball, your daily podcast on women's basketball.